If you're having problems staying motivated in your business, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll hear something to help you with your motivation. So I get this question a lot, Angel, how do you stay motivated in your business, or how do you stay motivated to create content for your business when you're losing your motivation? Perhaps things are taking a little bit longer than you planned for them to take. And I have to be very honest with you guys. I can end this video in 2 seconds with one question. Do you really want it? Like, do you really want your business? Because the reality is, when we are searching for motivation to continue on in our business, what comes to mind to me is that you've given yourself other options. You've given yourself other options, like, okay, well, if this doesn't work, then I'm going to go and do this. Typically, when someone asks me that say to me that they need motivation in their business, to me, that's an indication that they have other streams of income, or they have another source, or perhaps starting their business or moving forward with their business is not a necessity. Perhaps you're still young, and perhaps you live with your parents and you don't have any bills, you don't have a mortgage, so or perhaps you're working a job and this business is kind of on the side, it's not moving as fast as you want it to go, so you're like, how do I stay motivated? And oftentimes when you're lacking motivation in your business, it's not a priority to you. When I say a priority, like, it could be a priority, like, I really do want this, but I don't have to do this because I have another job, or I don't really have to do this because I'm a stay-at-home mom and my husband takes care of all the bills, or I don't have to do this because I'm still kind of young and I live with my parents and they're paying all the bills. I don't have a mortgage. So to me, that's an indication that they have other ways of making money. Because for me, this is it. This is all I do. So I can't wait for motivation. Like, this is what I do for a living. And so think back to during the time when you had a job that you perhaps maybe didn't like, but you had bills to pay. That was your motivation. And oftentimes we hear people say, well, what's your why? What is the reason why you're doing this? Really getting clear on why you're doing this. Are you doing this because this is your purpose? This is your calling? This is what you believe that God has called you to do? And if that is the case, honey, you don't need any motivation. You need discipline and routine. There are days that I don't feel like getting in front of this camera, and perhaps today is one of those days. Can you tell? There are days that I don't necessarily feel like sending out an email. There are days that I don't necessarily feel like posting on Instagram, and sometimes I don't. There are times when you should pull away and you should take a step back to regroup and to build up your motivation. But the reality is, if you have created this as your job, your only source of income, you will not look for motivation. You will create discipline, and you will create habits in your life that make you do this, and gotta express gratitude. And when I say make you do this, I want it to be a source of gratitude. Like, be grateful that you know what your calling is. Be grateful that you live in a day and age where the only thing you got to do is pick up your telephone to advertise yourself. Be grateful that you live in a time and space where you can really create anything that you want if you have the discipline and the character to stick it out until you see it to fruition, to where you want your business to go, where you want to manifest your dreams. So what I want you to do is, I want you to take out a sheet of paper, and I want you to write down 5 things that are going on in your life right now that gives you the option to not be motivated in your business. Meaning, do you still live at home, so therefore you don't have any bills? Do you have a job that takes care of your bills? Yes, perhaps you don't like that job, but it pays the bills. I want you to write down 5 things, 5 reasons, or 5 things that are going on in your life that give you the option to not be motivated. That's really what it is. You have other things going on that doesn't necessarily constitute that you have to do this business. Because if you're just doing your business whenever you feel like it, there is something else that you have going on. Like I said, perhaps you still live at home, or your husband takes care of all the bills, or you just rich and you just don't want to, and this is a house, whatever the case may be, you guys. Motivation has to come from within. I really honestly dreaded making this video, because when people tell me that they're losing motivation, and you live in a country that, I mean, we have everything at our fingertips, it really goes back to, like I said, what else do you have going on that gives you the option to not stay motivated? And one thing that I love about, or one thing that Jim Rohn said, is that motivation is like taking a bath. You have to do it every single day. You don't just go to church on Sunday and that motivation kind of carries you through the week until the next day or to the next week. There's things that you have to do in your life every single day that keeps you motivated. And also, let's not forget this. Make sure that you are eating your fruits and vegetables, because that will literally drain the life out of you if you are not energizing your body with the proper nutrition that you need in order to carry out this thing called purpose in your life. So guys, that's all I have for you. I don't know if this has served you, pissed you off, or what it did, but if you're seeking motivation, it really comes back to, this isn't, you don't have to do this, and you have other things that are going on that makes it possible for you to not create the motivation in your business. I love y'all. See you in the next video.